Today, the class is going to be about, we have come into a end of a year. So today is also having that space of gratitude in the class to understand what has come up in our life. Hi, Jordan. That has pushed us to our growth. Not necessarily that it was very comfortable, not necessarily it took out us from our safety, the mind loop that we are constantly in, but somehow that shook us. Instead of blaming, we might initially start blaming, but to grow and look at ourselves with a bit more love and compassion that it has come into in this present moment. So now all of you, yesterday's class was very much into this class. So I'm sure it will be on the YouTube and you will have the access for that class. So today is basically how we can take this time to observe the present moment and how we can bring that awareness a bit more into the following moments, which will be the following week. A lot of things will come up to you. Your ideal Christmas is not going to happen. Your ideal family is not going to be there. Your ideal family have extension of personalities coming into. As much as it's a festive season, it is the most challenging time for a lot of people. People find a lot of stress in these times because one thing, financially, they can't give so much. They have these excuses. Or they don't want to sit with people that they have not seen in the year, but is accustomed to sit in this table on that particular day and suppress all the emotions and the stories that is being going on. So this class is going to be very gentle, and we are preparing ourselves. And out of that preparation, it's not to avoid things, how we can let things be as it is without the manipulation of what it should be. So now I will ask you to take a pose that gently allowing you to take that deep space and its openness, and invite that space and become that space rather than forcing that space. So I will move the camera towards Darren and very gently start taking a deep breath, and very gently allow the breath on the out breath to go a bit more longer without the force. Keep your spine erect. The music can be, it doesn't align. Keep the elongation of the spine like a string of pearls, and allow that breath to come into that space of and extending that string of pearls through your back of the rib cage, your front of the rib cage, and not that you're just forcefully breathing, you're gently becoming the awareness of the breath, and you're very gently becoming awareness of the movement. Can you allow your breath out? Be gentle, but not too much deeply, making that exhalation a little bit longer than normal. Gently becoming aware of that slow, deep, gentle, yet steady in that breath through the nose. Shoulders relax and chest open. Allow that sibilant sound of that gentle breath. If adjustments need for you to synchronize its flow, its gentle rhythm, tone. The flow is controlled by the, if you are new to this breath, the resonance of the sound, and the tone by the flow. I normally don't talk too much about pranayama, but this is the key to become aware of the pranayama. Now fill the lungs from the bottom to the top, right up, gently up to the collarbone. Consciously. Try to channel that breath through the remotest part of the lungs. Consciously becoming aware of the inflow of that breath. As this breath is moving in, your body, your lungs, your brain, your conscious should be receptive rather than active. This breath is a blessing. So received it with that sacred gift should not be drawn in forcefully. Try not to inflate the abdomen, as I can see from here. Gently be conscious about the diaphragm below the ribs throughout. If the diaphragm is too much lifted above the floating ribs, the abdomen might get inflated instead of the chest. When you gently breathe out, bring that abdomen towards the spine and then up towards the head and massage the internal organs. In the depth of the inhalation, the muscles at the front are lifted up just before the exhalation. There is a further lift of these muscles, which prepares on before the breath gently moves out. Now gently, the process of the exhalation is in which the trunk and the diaphragm play a gentle active role. Maintain that lift. The breath to go out slowly, deeply, and steadily. After a few seconds of your practice, the grip of the trunk relaxes and the lungs have been passively emptied. Maintain your continuous awareness during this each outflow of the breath. Keep your eyes gently closed. Allow those limbs to relax. Now very gently becoming aware of the temperature of the breath as a reminder and a joy that you're receiving the prana, shakti, life force, a gift from that space of the understanding and the realization of the God. Exhale the sense of gratitude, silently expressing your humbleness to surrender into that space. Now the blood that carries the Shakti, life-giving energy, to all parts of the tissues. Especially as this time on the spring, this is a good way to reduce your phlegm, relieves the pain in the chest. And your voice becomes much more sweeter. Now very gently take that deep breath in. Shoulders roll back, lift up the chest, tilt the head back and massage the back of the skull. Open and close the mouth wider, releasing the tension of the jaw. Now take that deep breath in. Very gently on the out breath, twist the spine to the left. What thoughts are here? What sensations are here? What impulses are here? Gently acknowledge, not a commentary of thoughts. Notice them with that you don't have no interest to attempt to change them. And you don't have any interest to move your attention away from these, which are showing up for you. Lifelong things. Make them in any way other than being there for it. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Lift up the space of the spine, the space of the heart. Change the leg formation. Shoulders relax and chest open. Take that deep breath into the spine, the string of pearls in the back. connected into the ribs. And when you're ready, twist the spine to the right. Are those thoughts without the separation of the mind and the body? The feelings, sensations, or impulses feel anyway challenging or unwanted? Just observe what it's like to be with these differently, let them to be. So your identity cannot quite open to this, but your awareness can, which I worked yesterday. The eye that sees I without adding anything into the eye. So if you find the challenging thoughts or feelings in this moment, you might take a look at, see what the body sensations or impulses come along with these thoughts. Take a deep breath in and very gently coming back into the center. Shoulders relax and chest open. If any static build up in the body, you can clench and unclench your fingers or rotate them, release them. Take another deep breath in into the elongation of the spine, chest, and stretch the neck to the left. Allow that right shoulder to be dropped. If you are re-encountering unwanted sensations in the body, take a look at and see what thoughts, feeling, and impulses are surfacing for you with that feeling. If you may find a connection, or you may not, it's not important to think about it. But the intention is here simply to notice. Breathing in gently, coming back into the center, shoulders relax. Now take a gentle stretch onto the head and the neck onto the other side, on the out breath. Maybe using the weight of the palm, opening up. Is there any unwanted body sensation? You might explore moving your attention right into the space of the heart of the sensation, not to the mind of the sensation, but to the heart of the sensation. So one is avoiding, but the heart is approaching what is difficult. Breathing in back to the center, shoulders relaxed, just open. Now very gently allowing your feet to come into the space or the legs into the Sukhasana, not crossing them. Opening up gently the hips. Maybe even keeping a bolster or a block in the back on the buttocks. So you're slightly tilting forward towards the gravity. Now take a deep breath in. Very gently breathe out and very gently walk those palms. Feel those palms. Drop the elbows. Feel those elbows and armpits. And very gently take that deep breath into the sensation. And breathing out from that sensation. If you're new to the class, approaching this through your imagination, as you have done some body scan or yoga nidra work. Now see what it's like to keep your attention focused onto that physical aspect of what you think what you're going to trade as unwanted, and I'll do anything to get rid of this pain. As best as you keep your attention on that part of the body where the sensation are too strong, holding what you find there with the gesture of welcoming, curious, not labeling as just pain, trouble, ill health. Bringing the heart of that sensation with a kind of allowing. So this is not a cold clinical investigation. Spirituality is about gentle, warm, and kind approach into the most difficult areas. So the area itself is transcending. It keeps up there as far as you're holding up the story of it is unwanted, and you try to abandon it. Take that gentle yuji pranayama, palms very gently facing up, very gently coming back, shoulders relaxed, just open. Now very gently roll onto the knees and taking a breath of a cat on the out breath. Shoulders relaxed, just open. Take that deep breath in and drop the belly. Look up to the ceiling. Breathe out. Now very gently, Mahamula Bandha, anus very gently locked in. Navel very gently locked, throat locked. Whatever is showing up, impulse, they are allowed. They are not to force out. They are the guest in your house, coming and going. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Shoulders relax. Doesn't matter what past you have with this guest or what future you wanted from this guest. Can your awareness treat them like honorably and warm and kind? Keep noticing, watching the sensation, if it's shifting, or notice that there is a change of their intensity. Breathe out. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Bum is flat on this space. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. Guess coming and guess going. Keep noticing. Keep noticing. Is your attention now settled? That your sniffing is settled for the time? Are you able to stay with the changing flow of the sensation for a while? Now very gently stretch the spine on the breath out into the back buttocks, fall onto the heels, palms very gently facing up. There is no reaction in the body. In this posture, I may wanted you to deepen your allowing attitude. Today is not about finding the knowledge, but living in that space of the wisdom by being patient to deep your allowing attitude. So that gently, for instance, in your mind, it's okay, I can be with this here in this very moment, because I'm having the tools and the patience to allow it. And let me be open for it, not to close myself from the old story. Whatever works for you. This is not about providing you language. All what I want you to is becoming, not tensing or bracing against unwanted sensations. Instead of practice is about softening, opening. If it is help on the out breath, you might stay to yourself, opening and softening over and over in the out breath. Remember that is gently okay. Or you can bring that sensation of allowing, not saying anything. You're not pretending, you're simply staying open to what is here, letting what is the case to be. You might gently acknowledge it's okay not to want this feeling and sensation, but they are. Let me be open. Let me be open to them. Very gently, knees together into a child pose. The innocence of the practice is in the Balasana. As a child, when we don't have the like what we are experiencing, but we see what it's like to stay with it, allowing, letting it be. I normally used to take this pose. Even I knew that it was agitation, it was uncomfort. Didn't want to listen to my parents at that time, so I would always take this. Also, I want you to become conscious about not all unwanted physical sensations comes with emotional charge. Just stay with whatever the body sensation turns up. What I mean by those which aren't that pleasant. Now very gently, crown of the head onto the floor, close to the knees, and very gently activating the pituitary and the pineal gland and lifting up the buttocks. Not so much force onto the neck. So keep that elongation so that you're not collapsing the vertebra or discomfort. With that curiosity to whatever is up on the crown, very gently roll back onto the third eye, and the fist is on the third eye. So very gently, you can allow this impulse in the pituitary and the pineal to draw you towards into that space. Now very gently waking up into the Vajrasana. Take a moment, notice how you relate to what is arising. This is the Vajrasana, is the pose of the diamond. This pose allows you to sit and notice. This pose helps you not to be attached to the experience or becoming attached or pushing away the experience that you don't like out of your fear, out of your irritation, out of your being annoyed, tightening, contracting. So very gently allow and let your experience be the making the space of whatever is going on rather than trying to create something in another state. Otherwise, you will always go into the polarity of the mind. You're busy in avoiding. And life become very stale while become very sick when you're busy avoiding. So let us this experience to settle into awareness, into this moment. This is the best gift that you can give it to yourself and to the others, the present of the present. So try not to make things different, but allowing it's not fixing it. It's not getting rid of it. Now very gently take a deep breath in, interlacing the fingers, palms facing into the front, gently up to the ceiling. Shoulders roll back, very gently spread the wings and hold on to the hips and lift up onto the knees. Now I'm not going to do a Purna Uttanasana. I just want to make the kidneys more buoyant, hips more, and the heart more, a gentle arch. And you can lift up the heels from the toes. If your body is moving into the heels, allow them, otherwise use a bolster and make the challenges a bit more easy rather than forcing, because the forcing has created this separation deliberately to change the feeling. Avoid instead of intention here to soften into the way of unwanted experience are held in the awareness. Now very gently support the back, coming back, hips open, and very gently drop the heels closer to the buttocks. And walk those palms into the front and very gently opening up into a gentle down face. Now this is your first down face for the day, so it can just take you out of the practice. So very easy and to open out your relationship with the body, with the breath, relationship of aversion to certain experiences that underlies so much of your distress. Now very gently take a deep breath in, lifting up onto the toes. Push the heels down on the out breath. Breathing in, lifting up onto the toes. Breathe out, pushing down to the heels. Now breathing up, lifting up onto the toes, bend both knees and bring that lower ribs onto the knees and palms flat on the floor. Wrist is gently touching onto the floor. Fingers are spread, toes are relaxed. Now very gently take a deep breath in, elongated towards, through the spine, towards the gravity, through the spine, lift up the tailbone and very gently opening up the legs. Shoulders relax and your head and neck should be like floating like a leaf on the stem, not forced. Now take a deep breath in. Now drop the knees, stretch the spine into the back, palms facing up. You're trying to here change how you relate to the body, relate to the mind, and that changes everything. But not necessarily the mind that you know and the body that you know as identity. As in the practice, the acceptance is not a resignation, rather it allows you to become fully aware of the difficulty, and it allows you to respond in a skillful way rather than reacting in your normal habitual way, because you have been running this reacting fashion for automatically and familiar and unhelpful strategies you have for dealing long time. Your old self cannot find the solution. So treat yourself with kindness. Gentle kindness towards whatever is arising, whether it's a difficulty in the body, whether it's a difficulty in the breath, whether it's a difficulty in the mind. Attention changes the attitude. Allow the breath that what you have forgotten, remembering to bring an attitude of kindness. Whatever your experience today in the practice. Now you have a greater capacity for gentleness, kindness. Now we can move forward from where we are stuck to emerge into the space of consciousness. Now very gently take a deep breath in and breathe out towards the down face. There is no force in this posture. You're preparing with your breath and your body and your mind, but you have unlimited space of witnessing. Now what's your relationship to your problem? Need to have it to be in a particular way? Now take a deep breath in, left leg up into the back. Give a good rotation to the left foot. Very gently breathe out, left knee onto the left chest. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee into the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee onto the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left foot into the front. Now very gently, arms stretch into the back. Interlacing the fingers. Arms raise onto the crown. 6 deep cycles of breath. Realized whatever the mild annoyance that coming up, realize the difficulty in the body, realize the difficulty in the thought, but you are none of them. So the thinking is not focused on the idea that the problem is not experience itself, but your relationship to it. Your immediate reaction is always how to work it out, how to get rid of this unwanted wakefulness, rather than looking as an opportunity to relate to it. Spread the wings, palms onto the namaskar position, turn to the right, opening up into the Vajrasana and taking a mudra that you're observing the suffering of the mind and the body in a most compassionate way. Observing more closely to the actual experience, not to the story. But this is a difficult class, this is an irritation to my, this is a slow class. But just becoming that space of the being before that 5% of the mind and the body. Not putting back your life into a thought or to a sort of sleep. And that was the source of your annoying thinking. That keeps you even awake in the night. Now very gently take a deep breath in, gentle arch, knee and hip open into the back. Breathing in naturally, coming back into the Vajrasana. Elbow onto the knee. Now not so much about stretching the right arm into the front, but right shoulder roll back and right hand just stays on the sacrum. Just giving that support to the spine and its wakefulness and consciously. So it's not about keeping the idea, the frustration in the mind by feeding it. And that has molded your sickness, shape into your sickness. But now they are not, they are opposite to that. Now overlooking to the right shoulder, overlooking to the distance and allowing somewhere to begin with that vital components in the capacity to transform your suffering into healing. Now very gently right arm reaching into the ceiling, into the front extension, just to touch the floor. Now taking a deep breath, left arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench and dropping the back knee onto the floor. Holding onto the front knee. Both arms onto the front knee. Push the hips and open up the space of the groin and allow that breathing. Breathing. So it has allowed you space to cope with a difficulty which is arising for you. If not, don't try. Whether it's a trouble by a thought, a sensation or an impulse. Now you're creating space to help you to cope up. What you're doing right now, you don't have to think about how you're going to cope up in the Christmas day or that time. Whatever you're doing now will be there. Now very gently take a deep breath in. Arms raised onto the crown. Open up that body of stiffness, holding onto the opposite elbows. Opening up, allow the throat and the chin to be relaxed. Attention to your experience in the present moment. Now, when you're using this breathing space, pay attention to whatever the difficult experience is showing up. Acknowledge, as I always say. Now, Garudasana, right arm on the top. Now, the thumb just slightly touched the third eye. And a reminder so if it is the anger is arising or self-critical thoughts are here or pain is here, acknowledgement is important, allowing your experience to be your experience. Gently focus your full attention on the breath as best as you can, fully experience into each breath. And each out breath, one after another, can be anchoring into this present moment, bringing you into the present and helping you to tune into the state of that awareness, the state of healing, instead of your using all your prana into the difficulty. So use the breath as a way of turning out of the difficulty rather than use it. Gently sharpen your focus, increasing your capacity on the posture to keep yourself calm and kindly aware about it. Spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Into a plank, strong on the pelvic floor. Left knee onto the floor. Take a deep breath in, right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Now back foot on angle, opening up, breathing in through the right nostril into the third eye, out through the left nostril. In through the left nostril into the third eye, out through the right. Keep the trunk firm and alert. Do not raise the bridge of the nose. Feel that breath percolating into the remotest pores of the skin and to the torso, and becoming aware of the process. If the awareness begins to lose its grip, the moment this happens, exhale normally and come back to the breath again. It's a reminder. Right reaching into the back and touch the floor. Now very gently, left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Clench and unclench. Paravita poses are very important for the organs. Left reaching into the back and touch the floor. Drop the knees. Give a good rotation to the hips and create the space of the digestion to release the things during the practice, during these cycles. And very gently coming into that space of easy, releasing comfortably. Palms facing up, stretch the spine into the back. Observe the hardness, observe the tension. Observe your capacity to witness, not the story, without feeding it. Breathe out slowly when there is a moment of release. Rest in this space. Harmony between the mind and the body and bringing them into one. So you're bringing the nerves and the mind correctly, inducing this practice. Body feels filled to be with energy. Allowing to remove the despair. Now it has developed endurance in that awareness. But it's also helped with blood pressure, laziness and doubt. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest onto the front. Drop the belly, soften the hips. Breathing in into a gentle cobra. Opening up that space of the Bhujangasana. Very gently taking a couple of more deep breaths into that space. Shoulders relax. Opening up. Overlooking to the left side. Back to the center. Overlooking to the right side. Back to the center. Relax back onto the third eye, onto the floor. Releasing that overtense suffering that creates high blood pressure. As it relieves this practice, the nervous tension. A passive state of feeling quietness. Now take a deep breath in. Gently elbows tucked into the side of the ribs. And breathing in into an up phase. Use the extension of the legs. Breathe. Breathe out towards the down phase. Head down, neck down. Shoulders relax. Expand your awareness around the body and the breath. Feeling the space it occupies. Sensing the whole body. Breathing. Might also take the breath to any discomfort, tension that is coming as a resistance to your experience. And allow them to soften and open wherever it is. Take a deep breath in, right leg up into the back. Right knee to the right chest, breathe out. Keep the extension of the body happening. Right leg stretch back. Right knee to the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right knee onto the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right foot into the front. Arms very gently stretch back, interlacing the fingers. Shoulders relax. Arms raise onto the crown. Forget the observation of the feet, maintaining a sense of space within your body and around your body, holding everything into the awareness to whatever the extent you can. Now 6 deep cycles of breath. Bring the quality of the expansion to the awareness through the breathing. How the body is breathing, how the body is breathing and moving, how the body is breathing, moving, and observing the state of the mind. In this way, you can let your difficulty to be experienced rather than reacting into it. If you shut the wound with the toxicity of that unsettled energy, it will grow into a cancer. So let them be rather than engaging the battle with them. Palms onto the pranam position. So you're very gently allowing the space. You're stepping out of that automatic reaction, dealing with the difficulty, running away from the difficulty, changing the partners, changing the house, changing the therapies, changing the medication, changing the location, but you're reconnecting into the present moment in your own innate wisdom that is rising. Turn to the left and take a Vajrasana, warrior pose, that you have become this gentle space of without the battle within. Now you can connect into those activities, places you go to, but you're waking up into the consciousness before going to sleep, before going to open up that mobile. You're on a regular watch before eating that unconscious meal, before feeding anything. Gentle arch. Allow the breathing. Explore the ways to respond with greater mindfulness and more friendliness. Maybe what you need this year is friendliness to yourself and to the situation. Breathing in, gently coming back. Elbow onto the knee. Shoulders relax. Support that space of the spine exploring. And allow the breath to bring you into the present moment, into the spine. Gently stretching up to the ceiling, into the front, touch the floor. Take a deep breath in, right arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. Embrace the unwanted. What does that feel like when you're willing to embrace? It's become shy. Right, reaching into the back, touch the floor. Throw the back knee onto the floor, holding onto the front knee. Shoulders relaxed, just open. Push the hips into the front and into the back and finding a space. A space. Once your body is settled, very gently, Garudasana, left on the top. Bring that awareness to the moment of reaction and explore the options for responding with a greater level of realization, greater level of creativity. Once you have started opening up to the space for responding in this very present moment rather than reacting, explore how you're using the breath into the present moment. When you're willing to embrace that unwanted, what does that feel like? Not the thought. Spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. Right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Into a plank. Stronger on the pelvic floor. Right knee onto the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. clench and unclench. Observe the breath coming through the left nostril into the third eye, out through the right nostril, in through the right nostril into the third eye, out through the left nostril. Left reaching into the back, touch the floor. Drop the knees. Shoulders relax and chest open. Give a circulation to the hips and the digestion onto the other direction, the direction you did not use before. Body rotation. Push the hips into the front, into the back, palms facing up. Now allow this moment to notice with your practice. Once triggered, the thoughts can then run on automatically. And you have become aware of this in your practice. Moment after moment, I just allow you to understand this. Thoughts and images are just gently passing through your mind screen, like a television. You can let the television be the backdrop and bring your attention back to the breath into the present moment. Now you have just gently started to have some capacity to distance yourself from the commentary that runs in the mind, movies that goes through the mind. But if you're not connected to witnessing, the smallest paper thin distance can let you begin to get some perspective on your thoughts. So you can start see that they are just mental junk being recycled again and again and again. And coming back at you. This is your safety. This is how you should protect yourself. They're not the truth, really. Thoughts are just thoughts. When you see that, you can allow yourself to see that there may be other ways to think about things. And this can free from the tyranny of the unhelpful thoughts patterns. The thoughts and images that comes to you over and over again can sometimes give you indication of what's going on deeper in the mind. So this is an opportunity that we all came here to get hold of them and look them over from a number of different perspectives and becoming more familiar with our habitual, our automatic, unhelpful patterns, and becoming more aware of and allowing the change, the new season, to arrive. Now, once you have this realization, very gently waking up the spine, one vertebra at a time, very gently. Shoulders relaxing, chest open. Very gently now coming into a sitting posture, which is comfortable. And chanting the Heart Sutra to lift up the space, the heart of the problem, not the mind of the problem, so that it's willing. Let's just stand. Very gently taking a mudra that is comfortable in and creating that comfort that I'm the observer without adding anything. Not even I am happy or I am joy or I am light. Just I, without any addition to the story. Breathing in, chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, lifting up heart of the difficulty. Gently residing ourselves in that space of the opening. And there was a heart into every problem and the difficulty that we approach with. Life wouldn't be that difficult. Palms onto the Namaskar, position in gratitude that whatever the difficulty was, they are not against us. It was there for us to see ourselves in the depth of the practice. Returning into the space of the solution, space of the flow. Namaste to you. Namaste. Namaste, Rosemary. Namaste, Sylvia. Namaste, Jordan. Namaste, Kevin. Namaste, Maria. Namaste, Marie. Namaste, Sureka. Namaste, Jessica. Namaste, Nicolina. Now, I will teach on the next Saturday and Sunday. And then that's it for the year. So even now we are coming into the season closer. The participations of the classes are quite less. I understand that everyone wants to catch up with everyone and all that, but also make time to catch up with yourself. That you have a place to catch up with yourself. And if that self is not there, and all the parties and the events you're going to go, you're going to have a difficulty of separation. Thank you for Jessica. So be very conscious of. Now, I am very much interested in this Christmas. If I want to give something or relate to something, I will only serve things that I would love to be in my community. I'm not a place of advertising, but most of the clothes that I wear are coming from Sylvia's daughter. They're beautiful clothing. And please go to Genevieve. And if you are interested in, she has a beautiful selection, and she's a young, amazing designer who is designing these beautiful clothes. So choose some of her clothes and support her career, because she's also part of the yoga community. And there are so many others are doing things like that. Like Malara and Manoj has written a book about these practices. So their books are available. Nicolina is doing amazing tea collection. And I also don't know what you guys are doing. So please let me know what you guys are doing. And I will only support the things that I want to support locally and in a community way, so that we can build up the strength of our collective consciousness. So all these clothes I was wearing, most of them are all the time, is from Sylvia's donation. So thank you so much for keeping me in this space, and also for all of you, Rosemary, and everybody has come and visit me and been there with me and shared something with me. So thank you for all. I'll see you on next Saturday. Love to you. Bye.